Okay, so this part of the application was somewhat of a a hurdle for me. So it's funny, I've done this actually quite a few times with my kids. So there's a roughly a 2-year-old kid who needs to travel to China or travel to China, and we need to get some sort of visa for them. Okay, and for some reason, like you can't find this stuff like online very easily, and basically, um, when you call like to call them is very difficult for especially where we are. Like the phone's always busy. Okay, so I've never even succeeded getting through on the phone. So this kind of stuff, I think, would be great just to know in ahead of time. So if you have kids traveling, okay, if for example, when we were in Germany, okay, when I and we had to leave for China, I went to apply for a visa for my kids, okay. But the thing is, because their mother's a Chinese passport, Chinese national, um, and we were only in Germany for like we weren't like permanent residents in Germany, so um, they could well they had to apply for a travel document, okay. So travel document is essentially the same as a passport, and it's valid for 2 years, but the difference between a passport and a travel document is that the travel document can only go to China. So passport, you can actually go to other places and you can use it to verify your ID and stuff, but the travel document is specific to going to China. Okay. And so if you're kind of like trying to get some sort of travel visa for your kids when you're in another country, a lot of the time you need a travel document, okay? But recently, so for some reason I'm in this situation again. Um, so I thought, okay, well let's get a travel document, okay? So then, but I couldn't get any information. I didn't even know where to get a travel document from, okay? And then, but my wife was renewing her passport, so I kind of snuck the question in at the same time. And so basically, it turns out because she was a permanent resident on a migrant visa in Australia at the time that my daughter was born, my daughter needed a visa. Okay, so it wasn't a travel document anymore. Okay, so that maybe that's the distinction. Okay, so you need a travel document if you're essentially kind of like a tourist or a working visa or something more temporary, and you get a visa if you're more permanent. Okay, so then I ended up having to go through the whole visa application process for my daughter, and so that made put extra stress on her passport application because I thought I didn't need to do anything with the passport. The passport at the time was just so that she could re-enter Australia, but because um she was in this category, I had to get a visa on that passport so that she could go to enter China. Okay, and luckily enough, I did it all successfully because it's essentially the same application, and my mom kind of was was through it like recently, and it was kind of helpful. But I'll talk about the visa application separately. But basically, this is just to let people know who want to travel to China with a child whose mother or father maybe is like a Chinese citizen. And so my daughter's an Australian citizen because I'm an Australian citizen, but my wife's a Chinese passport holder. And so there's the option of getting either a travel document or a passport, okay? And not so a travel document or a visa, okay? And so the travel document is actually much more convenient because it lasts for 2 years. It's unlimited entries. It's like it's like really good, okay? But the visa, like depending on your circumstances, so for us, it's like one entry, but you could stay for like 6 months probably on that one entry, depending on the situation. Where we're going for an emergency, like a family visit, where like someone's dying, so um they take that into account probably when um you apply, but But the point is, yeah, like you need a visa or a travel document depending on sort of the status of the passport holder in the country that you're applying at the time of the child's born. Okay, so my wife was on a migrant visa, so the partner migrant visa class BC subclass 100. Okay, and that visa allows you to stay in Australia as a permanent resident. And because my daughter was born when she was on that visa, um, she needs to apply for a visa herself when traveling to China. And had she not been on this kind of visa, like she when we were in Germany, I think she was just accompanying me as someone who was doing research in Germany. They they my kids only needed a travel document, okay, and that was something different altogether. So the visas and the travel documents are done in different places. So well, they used to be done at the same place, but now they're done in different places. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm starting to rant, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I should do this in another language at some point, but I hope that helps you. Let me know